Merci Mathieu. Bonjour à tous. Bienvenue, je suis Michael Binnion, le président de Quebec Énergie. Depuis plus de 10 ans, je travaille à explorer le territoire québécois à la recherche de gaz naturel. À l'exception de ma mère, personne s'en souciait. Les choses ont commencé à changer il y a 12 ans. Je suis le fondateur de Quebec Énergie. Mon vision était la suivante. Si on veut trouver des gisements de gaz naturel en Amérique du Nord, il faut chercher dans un nouveau type de roche. J'ai essayé de trouver capital de risque à Calgary, mais quand Talisman a acheté Bow Valley Industries, le président a dit que Bow Valley Industries était si mal dirigé qu'ils ont même été explorés au Québec pour y trouver le gaz naturel. J'ai aussi essayé de trouver des capital à Montréal, mais encore là sans succès. On me dit à tous les 10 ans, vous de l'industrie, venez nous voir, mais jamais avez-vous réussi à trouver de gaz chez nous. Finalement, ironie du sort, ce sont les Norvégiens qui ont accepté d'investir dans mon entreprise, les premiers. Tout change avec le BP oil spill. Soudainement, le monde s'est intéressé à l'industrie. Au Québec, au même moment, les journalistes ont découvert le gaz du schiste. Les citoyens ont fait le même. Et encore là, soudainement, ces dernières ont tout de façon quasi spontanée développé une opinion. Depuis le déversement de BP, je viens au Québec une semaine par mois pour expliquer notre industrie et pour rencontrer les gens. La première question posée, pourquoi semblez-vous si presse? J'ai répondu, c'est là votre opinion. S'il vous plaît, allez la communiquer à mes patrons, qui depuis plus de 10 ans attendent des résultats. Et vous comprenez que si plus de gens s'intéressaient à mon dossier il y a 10 ans, mon français serait aujourd'hui bien meilleur. Mon objectif cette année est de faire tous mes discours au Québec en français. Mais le discours aujourd'hui est spécial pour 2 raisons. La première raison, c'est que j'ai pris l'avion pour Montréal afin de faire un discours à des Albertains. L'autre est le fait que le Québec et l'Alberta doivent travailler ensemble comme jamais auparavant. Ce sujet me passionne. Permettez-moi de passer à l'anglais. Bruno last night, he was talking about at the end of every party, there's always somebody from people from Calgary and people from Montreal, and I want to tell you that was true last night too. There was 10 people from Montreal and me. And so I have a small headache today, so I hope that's not going to affect this speech. In my speech today, Les Coureurs de Bois, Canada's First Entrepreneurs, is about Canada stepping up to a senior role internationally as the reliable, safe, environmentally responsible, and efficient providers of resources to the world's largest resource-hungry economies. I think it's an exciting opportunity to renew our national narrative of what Canada is, who we are as a confederation, and what we mean to the world. And in Canada, every region has a slightly different story that we tell ourselves about who we are, depending on when history started for us. And it's not a surprise that those stories are not all the same and they're not all complete. And that's why we call it his story as opposed to her story or our story. And it's not surprising with Quebec and Alberta at the opposite ends of Canadian history that our stories are the most different. In Alberta, we have a national narrative. We built a railroad together. In building the railroad together, we built a country together. And I'm really proud of that country, and I'm pretty proud we built that railroad. And since then, Canada has been the reliable junior partner in 2 world wars. We supported the United Nations through peacekeeping, and we're a trusted junior partner to America under a security umbrella, supplying the energy and other resources that they need. The 20th century belonged not to Canada, as Louis Saint Laurent hoped, but rather to our senior partners. We're well-liked and respected as a small country who can always be counted on to help and who punches above our weight. And I'm pretty proud of that, too. And my view is that there are now 3 disruptive changes in the world that give us a challenge and an opportunity to build on that country that our railroad made. And these paradigm shifts are the rise of Asia and resource demand, a new age in energy, and democratization of information through social media. Together, they present an opportunity to take our place in the world as a senior partner, the challenge to be in the 21st century a resources superpower. But a renewed national narrative takes a national effort. Key to that effort will be Alberta and Quebec, the 2 provinces in Confederation who have shown that they're willing to go their own way. Alberta has worked successfully with Quebec before, including on free trade, and we need to work with Quebec again today. We won't be much of a resources superpower without over 20% of our population, the world's largest hydro resources, some of the Canada's largest mineral resources, forests, fisheries, and critically free passage, if not free trade, through Quebec's borders. My company tried to bring the oil and gas industry to Quebec, and we've learned a lot, mostly on how not to do things in Quebec. Learning from our mistakes and how to work in and with Quebec will be pivotal to Quebec partnering in a new national narrative or playing a not unfamiliar role, following their own separate national story. So why is now the time to transform our place in the world? I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm only giving you my personal perspectives and a view of an Albertan from Quebec. In my view, the reason is just as Rahm Emanuel of the United States said, never waste a good crisis. I believe the alternative to seizing this opportunity is not the status quo and represents a potential fiscal crisis for Alberta, Quebec, and Canada. The 3 critical and disruptive world changes I referred to before are what I think presents this opportunity out of a potential crisis. The first, the opening of Asia, and the massive urbanization of 1 billion or more people dwarfs the urbanization of the Industrial Revolution. Today, we sell natural gas to America at 75% off retail. The world price paid by Europe and Asia is over $10 an MCF, while we sell the same product in America for close to $2 an MCF. This is the kind of price that places like Turkmenistan and Tajikistan sell their gas for. The benefit to the American economy of Canadian discounted gas is $20 billion per year. Luckily, this subsidy is shrinking because every day they import less gas, even at these prices. If even 5 years ago Canada had cut off our gas pipelines, we would have heard about the free trade agreement, our special relationship, the security umbrella, our longest undefended border in the world, our commitment to be a reliable ally of America. Today, if we cut off our gas pipelines, the Americans would ask us, do you want some of ours? Are oil and hydro far behind? The wholesale price of hydro at the border is already dropping, and U.S. markets are not as sure as they once were. And they have a strong national narrative based on a shared history and a shared language. Quebecers were here at the beginning of Canadian history, from Cadillac to De La Salle, Joliette, La Vérendrye, and Father Lacombe. They, together with the Coureurs des Bois, were the first to explore and settle this country. They brought expertise and capital to new land and to create new enterprise. It was even French explorers, Radisson and Groseillers, who had the inspiration to use the Hudson's Bay as a shorter trade route and sold Prince Rupert on financing it. They are Canada's first entrepreneurs. With today's prospect for natural gas and oil in Quebec, Albertans, as Canada's newest entrepreneurs, standing on the shoulders, whether we realize it or not, of Canada's first entrepreneurs, have an opportunity to reverse the east-west flow of Canadian history. If, as the local papers say we're trying to do, we actually manage to seduce Quebec, we can bring our capital and our world's leading technology to Quebec in place of our transfer payments. What better way to interact and understand each other by being business and technology partners? I think it's a once-in-a-generation opportunity to change the relationship of Quebecers to energy, and by doing so, their relationship to Alberta and Canada. By making our energy opportunities Canadian opportunities, and by bringing our technology and capital to Quebec, it is a chance for us to end the indifference between Quebec and the rest of Canada, to become real partners, to join all our national stories in a new national narrative, respected in the world as a resource superpower. It's a big job, and this trade mission is a small step. I want to thank Tim Shipton and Dave and Bruno of the Alberta Enterprise Group for organizing this. And I want to thank the Montreal Board of Trade for hosting us and allowing us to do this morning. But there's going to need to be a lot more steps like this. Thank you, everybody.